What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy, Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae across the scours of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV for you, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. And guys, happy Friday to all of y'all. And just like to remind you that this video is being brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Got to give them a huge shout-out. Thank you, Underdog, for sponsoring this video. And if you guys want to play Underdog Fantasy, just utilize this little QR code right here. Download the app and play Underdog Fantasy. So got to thank them for being the sponsors of today's videos. But happy Friday to all of y'all, man. Hope y'all are doing well. Hope y'all enjoying your Friday. Hope you're getting ready for the long weekend. So we are going to get into today's docket. Few things we got to talk about. And, hey, first things first. Dan Morgan is talking that talk this week. He's saying things that we kind of want to hear. And I don't know if y'all heard what he said on the radio the other day, but, hey, the man was speaking. So, Dan Morgan was talking on, I want to say WFMZ. I want to say that was a radio station. But he was talking in an interview in regards to our team's pass rush. And this is what he had to say. Dan Morgan says, I think our pass rush, obviously to me as everyone in the building, would tell you it wasn't up to par. We had the second lowest pressure rate in the league this year. Obviously, that is not acceptable. If you're not protecting the quarterback and you're not affecting the quarterback, you're not going to win many games in this league, especially at a consistent level. Now, to me, that bodes one or two things. First things first, that tells me they're definitely looking into affecting the pass rush this offseason, whether it be through free agency or the draft. They're looking to add to that pass rush and try to get after the quarterback, try to look at some defensive players. But secondly, to me, that bodes the question of, okay, what's the reason why our pass rush was so low? Was it the personnel or the coaching?
Nani?
Now, I'm a certain type of individual. I've been pretty candid about what I think the issue is on defense. I've been pretty candid on who I think the culprit is, the reason why our pass rush isn't effective, and that would be one Edgero Avero. However, I don't know ball sometimes, according to some people. A lot of y'all don't feel that way. I don't know ball sometimes, and it's okay. I don't know everything. I never claim to know everything. I just speak what I see. And to me, we have the personnel. Now, do we need to add a few more pieces on defense to help with that pass rush? Yes, you're always trying to get better. You're always trying to add better players and more impactful players to add to the pass rush. Shoot, even if the players that you drafted, you want them to get better because Lord knows, next year, Amamiela could step up with Scorton, and they're both just BTA to every offensive lineman that try to get in their way, and then they start leading the league in sacks. That is a valid possibility. But in order to be in that position, you have to have a coach who sets you up to put you in that position. And I don't think Avero is there, which is why I'm kind of curious as to the simple fact of the matter that you come out and you said, obviously our pass rush was low. You've come out and said that you trust Avero 1,000% and you want him here. So to me, that points at the personnel. That's Dan Morgan pointing at the personnel saying, the reason why our pass rush isn't great isn't because of the coaching, it's because of our personnel. It isn't because of our defensive play calling, it's because of the personnel we have on the field. I thought the personnel we had on the field was pretty good. Could it be better? Yes. And I think the play calling in some instances is what killed us. But you could always make that argument in any situation. You can always make the argument of, oh, hey, we did call the right play. We just didn't have the capable personnel. Or we called the wrong play, but our personnel bailed them out. Case in point, I feel there were a few times Avero called the wrong coverage or the wrong, he called the wrong coverage, especially for the secondary, but Mike Jack or J.C. Horn or Lathan Ransom or Trayvon Merrick made up for it and made it look good because players can do that And sometimes coaches can call up the right play, and they don't, and it's not executed. So I thought that was very interesting that Morgan came out and said that in the same week that he said he's behind the Vera 1,000%, because to me, making that comment is like, hey, yo, our play calling was not up to snuff, but we're also going to add players to help with this. That's just me. But what do I know? I'm just here, man. However, I do like the approach, and I'm glad the approach seems to be we are going hard in the offseason to get some more defensive pieces and to add to it. Definitely not going to forget about the offense, but we're definitely going hard on the defense to see can we get after the quarterback, especially in the pass rush. We weren't sacking people, bruh. We weren't putting pressure on QBs, hence why we were starting to get dissected a bit. And I saw a comment earlier this week. I don't know if I can't recall if I addressed it off the top of my head, but somebody had said, do I think that some quarterbacks are better at dissecting our secondary like Matthew Stafford? Whereas there are other times they're like, our zone coverage was pretty good on some quarterbacks. I'm always been a proponent of if you give a quarterback time, just about any quarterback can dissect a zone. That's always been me. If you can't pressure a quarterback and rush him into making a decision, they're professionals. Just about any quarterback can dissect a zone. Unless you're case in point, like Jamarcus Russell, Ryan Leaf type deal. Like, unless you're one of them. But at that level, you can kind of just, all right, zone, window, pick it apart. Or you at least should be able to. But when you're able to rush a quarterback, you're able to throw them off or make that timer in their head go off quicker than they want to. You give a guy like Stafford, flipping Brady, flipping Manning, flipping, who's another great? Like Breeze, Mahomes, Allen. You get Joe Burrow. You give these guys time and don't pressure them, they will rip your defense apart to shreds. Which is why you have to add that pressure to the quarterback, and you have to make them uncomfortable. And sometimes you got to bail off, because then when you bail off and they're not pressured, now they're like, whoa, wait a minute. And they're just caught off guard and might make the wrong pass or rush to see. They think they see something, so on and so forth. So you have to have that blend of pass rush and effectiveness, but also be good on the back end in coverage. That's just me. Next, guys, we got a new promotion actually this week. And the Panthers' assistant quarterback coach is now the new passing game coordinator. So, big shout out to one Mike Berkavoci. It's either Bersavoci or Berkavoci. Mike, if you watch this video, I apologize for mispronouncing your name. But he has been promoted to our new passing game coordinator. And for those of you who may not know what the passing game coordinator does, I got you, man. So, long story short, the job of the passing coordinator, he is the individual who designs, develops, and executes a team's passing offense, and basically works real close with the offensive coordinator and head coach to create game plans, coach the QBs and receivers, analyze film, so on and so forth. So this gentleman right here is going to essentially help Canales with the passing game and try to make the passing game better. And as you can see from his resume, he did play at Arizona State in college, and he ended up being a graduate assistant at Arizona State for Herm Edwards in 2019. Then in 2020, he joined the Cardinals on Cliff Kingsbury's staff and was actually promoted to offensive assistant in 2022. Then in 2023, he came over during the Frank Reich era and was brought in as an offensive assistant and was kept through those firings and everything of that nature. He was an offensive assistant for 23 and 24, and then he was promoted to assistant quarterback coach this year for 2025. And you kind of saw that development and that growth with Bryce Young this year. Definitely some inconsistencies, but he grew and got better. And I think he was a huge proponent in helping Bryce get there. this is why, and the reason why I say that is because he's been now promoted to the new pass game coordinator. So I think he was instrumental in helping Bryce grow and develop, and now he's going to be working hand in hand with Canales, with Bryce, and the passing game, developing plays to get Bryce more comfortable in passing. And honestly, I'm cool with it because considering the fact that he was with the Frank Reich staff and they kept him, and the fact that he's worked under a Cliff Kingsbury offense, he's worked under Herm Edwards, those are pretty good names and good places to draw knowledge and inspiration and uniqueness in play calling from, just working under those individuals. So hey, Carolina, I like this. And it's a blessing in disguise because this man was actually interviewed by the Washington Commanders to take over as their lead quarterback coach, but Washington turned him down or decided to go in a different direction. So this could be a blessing in disguise for us, and I love it. I absolutely love it, man. But another blessing in disguise I have for y'all, and I just want to let y'all know, is Underdog Fantasy, man, because the playoffs are still going on, and Underdog Fantasy is the best place to get all your action. So some of you don't know, this is how we do it. Playing Underdog is easy, bro. Just pick your favorite players and go higher and lower on any stats like touchdowns, interceptions, rushing yards, receptions, and more. And if you get them right, you can win up to 5,000 times in your cash. This week, I have been a real strong proponent on Matthew Stafford, but I also want to look at the other games going on. And when I take a look real quickly, you'll see right now, they have Caleb Williams at 220.5 for passing yards, as well as Bo Nix with 212.5 for passing yards. So Caleb Williams, I would pick the higher on 220.5. So I'd say like 225 or so, 230. But Bo Nix, I'd actually pick lower and say around 190 to 200 passing yards. So that's what I would think, but that's just me. And then with that in my mind, what are you waiting for, bro? Download the app today and use the promo code FOOTBALLFAN to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5 for all new participants. That's promo code FOOTBALLFAN. That one right there. Use that and you will get $75 in bonus entries for all your stuff. So what you doing, man? Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-877-8 or text from 467-369.
All right, and now that we're back to it, y'all know what time it is. It's time for one of your favorite segments. It's time for Would You Rather Panthers Edition. And y'all know what this is. This is where I give y'all a Would You Rather to think about. And this one is actually going to be related to pass rush. I think y'all are going to like this one. So, Carolina, Panther Nation, in regards to pass rush additions, would you rather bring in, where is that? Trey Hendrickson or Max Crosby?
NANI?
Would you rather bring in Trey Hendrickson or Max Crosby if the financials were to work? Now, mind you, I've gone ahead and looked at their contracts. And right now, Crosby is on a 3-year, $106 million contract, which comes out to around $35 million per year. And Trey Hendrickson, he was on that $30 million this year, but he is set to become a free agent in March of this year. So, obviously, and with his injury, that's probably going to keep him around $30 million. I don't think he's going to go up in price just due to the fact that he was injured. So you got around $35 million a year versus $30 million a year. And Crosby's deal is good through 29, I want to say. Last time I checked, his deal is good through 2029. His deal is good through 2029. Yeah, his deal is good through 2029. So, Who would y'all rather choose? Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson? Now, if you're asking me, because this is a tough one. Honestly, I think I might go Crosby.
NANI?
And the reason why I think I'm going to go Max Crosby is for this alone. Max Crosby's contract is already set and locked. You know what you're getting. And we know how in the offseason, the numbers always increase, right? You're always, every offseason, it's like the price for that position goes up. Whether it's quarterback, running back, receiver, lineman, DB, linebacker, defensive line, like one person's always trying to up everybody to reset the market so the price goes up. And with Trey Hendrickson, even though he was injured, he's still really good. He's still a really good player. But with this offseason coming up, the price is going to reset. And that price tag might just be a little bit higher than what Crosby's already locked into. So I'd rather go ahead and get Crosby and know what it is rather than wait for Trey Hendrickson. And Trey Hendrickson's like, okay, I want $37 million. Even with the injury, he could ask that. Especially if the market gets reset to that. For example, if there's like a restructure deals somewhere, I don't know what Myles Garrett is going on or TJ Watt. But if they come out and they're like, yep, I am a $42 million guy. Trey Hendrickson's like, well, I'm not $42 million, but I'm $37 million. You see what I'm putting down? Whereas with Max Crosby, I know, hey, it's already averaged out to around $35 million per year. So that's just me. That's where I stand. Y'all let me know. Who would you rather bring in? Trey Hendrickson, Max Crosby? If it's possible. Obviously, the financials, the cap room, and so on and so forth is kind of crazy. But I just want to know if it's financially feasible, or if it was financially feasible, which one would y'all rather bring in? Just want to throw that out there for y'all. And for the Panther Freeze Frame of the day, last one from the Rams and Panthers game. I love this photo from Mike Jack and Devontae Adams because this was after a deflection between him and Devontae, and Mike was talking the way a DB talks. And he had the confidence just to go one-on-one with Devontae Adams so many times. And I loved it. I really like this photo. I think this is great for Mike, showing no fear towards one of the best receivers in the last 10, 15 years. So I respect that. Also, speaking of Devontae Adams and speaking of things of that nature, and this will be one of the few highlights I've given this man all season, that hit that Nick Scott had on Devontae Adams in the game was not a penalty.
NANI?
I know I get on Nick Scott a lot. I really do. But I'll defend him for that. That was just a really good hit because at that point, as a DB, what else are you supposed to do? Just let the dude come down and catch it? Like, what else are you supposed to do when he gets set up in that scenario and you're aiming for his legs and his sternum, his torso, and he just happens to come down faster than you get there and you end up hitting him shoulder to head? Like, I'll defend Nick Scott on that. As much as I want him gone, I will defend him on that. I thought that penalty was BS, 1,000%, and I never liked it. I didn't like that. But now it is time for y'all favorite segment. Time for y'all favorite segment. Time for Panther Nation to speak your truth, and that's why I read y'all comments and see what y'all got to say, man. And here, let's go ahead and get into it. And first comment comes from 4UTC95. Says, Sam Howell is a great choice for a backup, and he's a similar statue as Bryce with a bigger arm. Also, he's a hometown guy. I mean, Sam Howell's not bad. He's not bad. Now, and he is from the Carolinas. He is a hometown guy. So I guess it's not a bad pickup by any means. You know what? Yeah, I can see a lot of people. Because a lot of people were saying that in the comment section. Like, yo, Sam Howell, Sam Howell. I'm like, all right, I can see it. Next comes from Gutter Rich 10 says, we need a quarterback that can tush, push, and steal possessions. They need to stop treating XL like a traditional finesse receiver. Drag screens, runs out the backfield is what he does. Give him easy catches in space. Like I said, one, I've seen Bryce do quarterback sneaks and tush pushes, but I'm also with that. If you want a bigger quarterback that can just do it, cool. Like I'm not against that at all. And the thing about with the tush push, you just have to have a really good offensive line to push it because Jalen Hurts is only 6'1", 215, maybe 220. And most of the time when you do the tush push, what is it? The people behind you are pushing the quarterback, and the line gets a good push forward. It's not necessarily the quarterback himself that does it. So there's that, and I can see XL being used as like a guy in drags and screens and things of that nature. However, even with drags and even with like screen passes, he's kind of struggled a bit on where he wants to go and just turning upfield and going forward. But also, you have to make him, or not make it, but you have to put traditional receiver finesse in his game. Like, he can't just be a one-trick pony unless he's just that good at it. And you know that's just what you're using him for. Like, if he's really that good at it and that's where his game is the best at it, cool. It's kind of like Deshaun Jackson. You knew Deshaun Jackson was typically a deep ball threat more times than not. Anything that could utilize the speed. So I can see the argument. I see what he's saying here. It's not a bad take. And then number 3. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. There it is. Third one comes from Billy Peer 4448. Says, this year the Panthers surpassed my expectations. I have a good feeling about our young guns. If we could provide our guys with consistency and stability on the sidelines, we might just be amazed. I'm on board with Dan Morgan and look forward to what he does in the draft. I'm with it too. Stability, continuity, and camaraderie, and just allowing the team to grow together. Hey, that's what builds championships, man. And that's what builds just great foundations going forward. But, guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom so you can always be notified on when these videos are dropping. Next, comment below. Let me know. What are your thoughts on Dan Morgan's comments in regards to the pass rush? How do you feel about our new pass game coordinator? Do you think that's going to help Canales open up the playbook and be more dynamic in this scheme next year? And then thirdly, who would you choose? Trey Hendrickson or Max Crosby if you can bring one to Carolina this offseason? Let me know all that and everything else in the comment section below, because at the end of the day, y'all know the deal. What do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love to all of you. Take care. Have a great long weekend, later days, and as always, keep pounding. I'll see y'all next time.